I'm Rachel Vandermeer. I'm from Woodstock, Ontario, and I'm a second-year student here at St. Therese. This Sunday's Gospel is Mark 1, 40-45, which is the story of Jesus cleansing a leper. This Sunday's Gospel is the story of a leper. This leper, like all lepers at the time, was told he could not be with his family. He had to keep a distance from everyone around him, and he wasn't allowed to touch anyone. This sounds pretty familiar to us. Our situation being like that of the leper should fill us with a lot of hope, because if he could be healed, loved, and given the chance for a new life in his isolation, we can too. The story begins with the leper showing incredible faith. When he approached Jesus, he was breaking the law, as his disease forbade him from approaching anyone. But he was willing to break the law because he had trust that maybe Jesus could heal him. He had been an outcast from society for possibly years at this point, but he still had hope. When we do not have instant success and healing, do we still have hope? Or have we become discouraged? Are we willing to trust God's timing in our lives? The leper in this story had great hope and faith, but that doesn't mean he didn't still struggle with some doubts. His words to Jesus were, "If you choose, you can make me clean. If you choose." Perhaps he still wondered if Jesus would want to heal him. He trusted in Jesus' abilities, otherwise he would not have approached him, but perhaps he lacked trust in Jesus' desire to make him well. In biblical times, leprosy was seen as a punishment for sin, or a sign that you had failed God in some way. We know now that this is not true, but the leper could have believed this about himself and doubted his own worth, which is why he might have approached Jesus with such uncertain words. But in response to the doubt still present in the leper's heart, Jesus says, "I do choose. I do want this good for you." In fact, God wants better things for us than we want for ourselves. He wants to perform miracles in our lives if we let him. But do we doubt that he would want to because we know our own weaknesses and failures? Are we going to let our guilt keep us from approaching Jesus? The leper still had doubts, but he didn't let them stop him from going to Jesus. He trusted God to be more powerful than his own weakness. In God's eyes, we are not the sum of our failures or our successes. He sees us as what we have the potential to become. When Jesus is approached by the leper, he reaches out and touches him before he heals him. The very first sense that develops in an unborn child is the sense of touch. When that child is born, physical contact is the way that the family shows they love the child. Saying "I love you" to a baby, or even taking care of their needs, won't actually tell that to the child. But physical contact, that is a declaration of love to the baby. This leper had probably not been touched by anyone in years due to his disease, and Jesus wanted to be the first to touch him, the first to love him. Before he had healed him, Jesus touched him, and what he says to the leper, he says to us. Christ's words are, "Before you are perfect and healed and strong, I love you." You becoming a better person is important, but secondary to you knowing that I love you. Because only when you are convinced of that love will you be able to become a truly better person. Jesus wants to tell us that we do not need to be perfect, and we do not need to earn his love. He loves us exactly where we are, as we are, but he's not content to leave us there. We see this clearly in the story, as Jesus touches the leper, loves him, but then proceeds to heal him and tell him to go and claim his healing. After the leper is healed, he is told to go, and he leaves with so much joy that he cannot contain it. I pray that your week will be filled with just as much joy. God bless.